Welcome to Daily Action Picks. I'm Anthony Dabbundo, and I have two college basketball best bets for today's jam-packed Tuesday slate. One favorite and one underdog. Let's start at 7 p.m. as TCU hosts Oklahoma State and is currently a 3-point favorite. Oklahoma State has one of the best half-court and overall defenses in the entire country. They rank 10th in shot quality defense and 16th in KenPom defense. When these two teams met in Oklahoma earlier this season, TCU had a 9-point lead on the road late before melting away and losing by 1. They'll be looking for revenge in this spot, and I think they'll be able to get it. One major reason, Oklahoma State only had 11 turnovers in that game compared to 22 for TCU. I'm expecting those numbers to be a little bit closer this time out. Oklahoma State cannot execute in the half court whatsoever. They're 352nd in the country in shot quality offense in the half court, and the Cowboys are one of the worst jump shooting teams in the entire country. That generally means they can dominate with defense, but in this matchup, TCU is one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the entire country. They are number 1 in percentage of offensive rebounds per KenPom, and given how aggressive Oklahoma State's defense is in trying to force turnovers, they tend to allow offensive rebounds at a pretty high rate. They rank outside the top 300 in defensive rebounding rate. So a huge edge for TCU on the glass, which they had in the last game and really should have used it to win. But it was a poor game from Mike Miles. He shot 0 of 11 on 2-point field goals. Miles is TCU's best player. He may not go tonight, but even if he doesn't go, I think this is a home run spot for TCU at home off of a bad loss to Kansas State over the weekend. Meanwhile, Oklahoma State just had a huge in-state rival win against Oklahoma. They don't have a tournament to play for. They don't really have a resume to build. I'm questioning their potential to be flat here in a road spot in a game that doesn't really mean a ton to them as a program, whereas TCU is fighting for that tournament spot. They're going to need this game at home, and it's a hype home spot revenge game for the Horned Frogs, so I think -3 is a little bit short. They should dominate the glass. Turnovers should be more even, and unlike last time, TCU will close the door late and take down the Pokes at home. Now in our second game of the night, Santa Clara is +3 at home against St. Mary's. This is a classic battle, contrasting styles. St. Mary's likes to play slow. They go in transition less than almost every team in the country. They're 334th in transition frequency, 25th in the half court. Meanwhile, Santa Clara loves to run. They play the 26th fastest tempo in the country. The Broncos are clearly the 5th best team in the West Coast Conference, but they played the top 4 teams pretty tough. They only lost by 3 to San Francisco. They won by 1 in a thriller against BYU at home just a couple weeks ago. And they only lost by 7 at St. Mary's despite being tied late. They were very much in that game until the final minute. So they've shown they can compete with the second tier below Gonzaga in this conference, and I'm expecting them to be able to do the same again. Santa Clara's defense is 50th in the country in preventing good half-court looks. They take away the mid-range pretty well, and they defend the rim at a well above average rate. Where they struggle is in isolation and off-the-dribble looks, with guys who can create and who are explosive, but St. Mary's doesn't really have those guys to exploit that. Meanwhile, Santa Clara can absolutely expose this St. Mary's defense in transition. Mary's is just 271st in defensive transition shot quality allowed, so I'm expecting Santa Clara to get out and run and control the tempo a little better than they do normally, especially being at home, and I think +3 is a little bit too many points. I think this is really a toss-up game, so I'm going with Santa Clara +3 at home against St. Mary's, and TCU -3 at home against Oklahoma State. Best of luck tonight with your picks.